Am I the asshole for sending my husband to his dad's because he wouldn't let our daughter help me cook? My husband and I get along like a house on fire. We love each other and talk constantly about what's best for our family. He's recently went back to work, he's a chef, and I'm still on furlough. I co-manage a bar. I cook from scratch every day. I've recently let the little one, 3 in March, scoop the chopped up food into the cold pot. Chopped up carrots? She giggles and scoops then into the pot. Mushrooms. Giggles and scoops them into the pot. Onions, giggles and scoops then in. I wash her hands after. Husband was home 4 nights ago watching us, making sarky little comments, she's too young, and, you're cooking them wrong, etc. He tried to get her to play with her blocks, which are her favorite toy at the moment, and she said to him, "No daddy, we do dinner, don't be nasty." He hasn't spoken to me properly since then. His dad has emailed me saying I should take the lead from my husband, since he knows best. His brothers have texted saying I should just pick my battles. I told him if he couldn't have an adult conversation with me he should go and stay with his daddy. He left a couple of hours later, told me he would stay with his dad. He told our daughter he had to go to work. She was happy. I think I'm totally in the right. My little one wants to help. She is very proud of herself when dinner is ready because she helped cook it. I do kinda feel bad because I know how chefs can be. But come on, it's his daughter, he should be encouraging her.
Not the asshole. I hate assholes who are truly good at something, but use that knowledge to make beginners feel bad about not being as skilled. To do that to his own daughter really makes him the asshole. Not the asshole, he's acting like a child. Is he jealous because you are teaching her instead of him?
Not the asshole. What the F is with all the people on this sub whose partners go running to their family to bully their partner into doing what they want instead of having an adult conversation? That is not okay. Not with any marital issue. Well, my daddy thinks I'm right. Is not a convincing argument. There is so much of that on here. If a friend or family member told me about a fight, the last thing I would ever consider doing is texting or calling the partner to tell them they were wrong. It is just so beyond the pale. Your husband needs to grow up.
Not the asshole. Wow. Your husband is an arrogant chef. The whole point is doing things with someone else. It's wonderful that your daughter is helping to cook. Some of my fondest memories as a child are doing exactly what she is doing.
Not the asshole. Your approach is not the asshole stick parenting, by the way, and I may be wrong, but I think Montessori would approve. And since you're the one who's home all day, you certainly know your own child's limitations. He's the one who needs to pick his battles. Don't let his family bully you. Do they have a history of misogyny? Also, you didn't send him away. You told him what's up, and he made a choice. His choice meant he walked out the door on you and your daughter. That is not okay. And that's not on you. I'm sorry you're having to deal with this. You and your daughter deserve better. Edit, typo. ETA, I realize you two love each other immensely. Hopefully he'll come around and realize it's not worth it.
Not the asshole. The problem isn't with cooking, helping. He should stop triangulating and communicate with you directly, like a spouse and an adult. Triangulation is a manipulation tactic where one person will not communicate directly with another person, instead using a third person to relay communication to the second, thus forming a triangle.
Not the asshole. He's letting his daddy fight his war he started when your kid just wants to be included in helping cook dinner. These are precious moments that you will crave when she's older and isn't as eager to be helpful, so him discouraging it because of some weird pride he has is ridiculous.
Not the asshole. This is the stupidest thing I've heard of a grown man doing in a while.
Not the asshole. You are not cooking for a restaurant guest, you are making a family meal. I would be more understanding if you were letting her do more, i.e. touch the knife, turn bacon, but she is doing an age-appropriate task under supervision. It seems to be a wonderful bonding experience and hopefully will help grow her love of cooking. Your husband is acting like a petulant child. Info. Did she really say, "Don't be nasty"? If so, this is deeper than just dinner. Info. What is his objection to her cooking? Is she worried she'll get hurt? Or concerned her hands aren't clean enough? In my opinion, there's nothing wrong with letting her help and get an interest in cooking as long as she is supervised at all times when doing it.
Not the asshole. Even the 3-year-old knows he was the Don't be nasty. LMAO.
Not the asshole. Your husband demonstrated what I call a limiting parenting style, where the kid is told no for reasons that are intrinsic to them, and can't be overcome, or are simply not what the parent would do. You're too young, that's too much risk, you aren't ready. A neutral parenting style would be limits, but with a more generic reason, not right now, when I can help you, when we have more time. An empowering parenting style is what you demonstrated. Let's do it together. You can't hold the knife, but how about you scoop the vegetables, etc. Your husband is doing your daughter a disservice with his limiting parenting style. Is also controlling in other aspects of your life together? His brothers have texted saying I should just pick my battles. Maybe he should be picking his battles. Also, what the fuck did I just read? Your husband preferred to go live with his dad, rather than sit down and have a reasoned conversation about parenting decisions with you? He chose to make passive-aggressive comments in front of the child instead of talking it over? Parenting, partnering fails. Not the asshole WTF?
Besides this petty behavior about you cooking with your daughter, you need to draw a hard line in the sand about him crying to his family about disagreements you have, or his hurt feelings about you, and then being his flying monkeys. He's causing issues between you and his family, and it's not their right to call you and tell you how to act in your marriage. That is the biggest red flag, aside from your husband needing to grow up. Not the asshole.
Not the asshole. Your daughter is a toddler, why is he expecting her to do work like a teenager adult? But with the way he threw a tantrum and ran away from home and your daughter's maturity, I can see why. I like how his brothers said, you need to pick your battles. But it looks like your husband started a battle he couldn't win, so he retreated back to his daddy to think of a new strategy.
Not the asshole. Both my kids started helping us cook and bake around 18 months. Your daughter is at a great age. Also, we've been able to use cooking to help expand what our picky eaters will actually eat. It's a wonderful bonding experience. I could understand him freaking out if you weren't watching her. Obviously there are some things that can be dangerous, but that's not the case here. Side note, there are these wonderful stools with like a small wall around them, literally made so little ones can help with cooking. A little pricey, but maybe a good thing to ask if your parents like to spend money for Christmas.
My sister sings opera and is a choir teacher. She has never complained about my singing. Why? Because that would make her an asshole and suck the joy out of something that makes me happy. Your husband is the asshole, and if he needs to go stay with his dad to realize it, then let him leave. Not the asshole. It's the best way for kids to learn, but that's beside the point. He was unkind to his child and controlling to you.
While I'm not a chef, I can't see anything wrong with this at all. Letting them help cook is great. It helps them to eat better and a feeling of accomplishment for them. Emo, I think your husband is being childish, sorry.
Not the asshole. He run to daddy and his brothers so the boys would back him up. Oof.
Chef here. Not the asshole. Why wouldn't your husband be pumped she wants to cook at 3? And to go stay at his dad's place like a child is ridiculous. If I had a kid who was curious about cooking at all, I'd nurture the shit out of that any way possible.
Some of my best memories with my mom are helping her cook. I don't understand why he is upset by this. Is there more to it?
NYA chefs can be nice. They don't have to be arrogant or snarky. Husbands can too. Sounds like he needs some humble pie.
Not the asshole. Does he normally micromanage your cooking? If so, I see this as an extension of that. He is definitely in the wrong, and I can't believe he isn't happy she is showing an interest in cooking. But perhaps he's just butthurt it isn't him doing it. Perhaps y'all can serve out time to make this a family activity?
Not the asshole. But the flipping heck. He is a chef. He should be nurturing her cooking. I taught a 1-year-old to mix batter for cupcakes and her mom and her still cook to this day, 10 years later. Ask if it's a possibility she inherited his love of cooking. You encourage her. You encourage her.
Not the asshole. Even Gordon Ramsay treats his daughters better than your husband treat his. He shouldn't be getting in between a daughter and a mother bonding through cooking. Also, what is this talk about your daughter being too young? There are 2-year-olds that learn to cook using an easy bake oven, but your daughter is too young to be scooping up food and putting them into a pot with a smile on her face? You did nothing wrong. Your husband obviously didn't have the balls to talk to you like an adult and not use his family to speak for him. If this is the hill he wants to die on, then so be it. Info: your relationship is on fire.
Not the asshole. You are teaching her so many things with these dinners. She is a sponge, absorbing textures, smells, flavors, and sights. She is talking to you and learning science as cooking causes chemical and physical reactions. Your husband may know cooking, but I know children, BS in child development and MS LMEd, and what you are doing is what every parent should. And if you don't already grow your own veggies and herbs, you and daughter start a little garden. The value of the skills she is gaining is immeasurable. Good on you, op.
This is literally a stage in child development. Children actively want to help their parents with different activities, and letting them assist you increases their independence and their overall development. Definitely not the asshole.
RN here. Your daughter is at a stage in her life where her psychosocial task developmental milestone to achieve is to feel like she is capable, within reason of course. It sounds like you are doing a great job at keeping cooking safe, and at the same time, and more importantly, helping her find her sense of will. Anything you can do to help her with the "I can do it" phase of toddlerhood will only serve her well in her life. You are so not the asshole here. Tell your husband he needs to help her feel capable now so she has a sense of will later.
His brothers have texted saying I should just pick my battles. Maybe husband should pick his battles.
Not the asshole. Acting the way he does, he's going to discourage her from cooking. My father did that to me, and let's just say I avoid visiting the kitchen especially when he's around and tries to control what I cook and how I cook it.
Not the asshole. Your husband sounds kinda insufferable if he can't just recognize a nice family moment and appreciate how happy it makes his kid to participate in making dinner, and has to sour the moment by being so critical and making it about him being a chef. You think it would make him happy to see his daughter showing an interest in what he does for a living. It's sad his strictness when it comes to cooking is getting in the way of what could be a good experience for the both of them.
Not the asshole. When a 3-year-old says, "Don't be nasty," that says it all. Not the asshole. Your husband doesn't sound like a nice person and he's very open about it. Listen.
Not the asshole. My 2.5-year-old loves to cook because she sees me constantly cooking and she wants to be just like me. I give her a butter knife and let her chop soft veggies like mushrooms, and she loves tasting the food with me when I check for seasoning. Whenever my husband says shit about my cooking, I tell him he's free to get off his butt and cook instead. I wouldn't let him back without an apology since he was being a critical ass.
Not the asshole. At that age, there is no right or wrong way to cook. I've been cooking with my boy since he was about 2, and it's all about getting involved and letting them enjoy themselves. Honestly, if he's criticizing a child of 3 for not being of professional standards, he needs to get a grip. If she's enjoying it, I recommend getting Child's Kitchen knives, and there's a great book called Tickle Fingers Cookbook, which is all recipes aimed at toddlers and small children. Sorry, your other half chef's ego is getting in the way of helping his child enjoy his passion.
I read the post and OP's comments, every last one of them, to try and understand the husband's point of view, and still I have no clue. Can someone please explain to me what got him upset? Is it the wife teaching baby cooking? The baby calling him nasty? The baby rejecting to play with him in favor of cooking with mommy? I am so confused. Not the asshole, and it's pretty unattractive of him to have his family harass you.
Not the asshole. Point 3 is a perfectly fine age to add things to the cookpot with supervision. Maybe even some supervised use of the mixer or a spatula.
Allowing your daughter to help cook is giving her practical life skills that will benefit her for the rest of her life. I'm a preschool teacher and we have an entire section of our classroom dedicated to food preparation to help children gain independence in the kitchen. Certainly not the asshole. I'm so glad you stood by your decision.
It seems like there are much deeper issues here. Why is his family calling you about this weird incident? Crazy flag number 1. Not the asshole. Multiple sources say that having kids help you cook helps them avoid being picky eaters.
Not the asshole. My husband is also a chef and loves it when our daughter helps us out. He also loves teaching my younger sisters, 16 and 18, how to cook.
It's a lot easier to get them to help when they think it's fun.
NTA. Your daughter is not too young. She's not even doing anything dangerous. Has your husband seen MasterChef Junior? There are some really young kids in there who stayed at your daughter's age. I'm surprised he's not thinking that's my girl.
Not the asshole. He's being way too pretentious. If she's doing it wrong, which is totally expected of a 3-year-old, he should be teaching her and encouraging her to do things correctly so that she knows better when she's bigger. He should not be fighting with you over something as silly as her wanting to help you out.
I am always amazed at these posts where family members and friends decide to reach out to one part of a couple and insert their opinion. Who lives like this?